Well, what it's about is 18 years ago, 8 people came together when we graduated and started what was basically a collective. And that turned into Hothouse. And eventually that turned into another company. Hothouse continued on, and Pure Design started as well. And that ended up being 2 companies in Edmonton that were manufacturing and selling furniture all over the world. This is kind of a good chance for us all to get back together and a real motivator for us to do something that we may not have done otherwise. Well, there's sort of a series. The first one was the kind of the simplest, and then I started moving in more of a 3-dimensional direction, and it ended up with this piece, which is sort of a double helix, and just a very complex compound kind of structure where there's 2 things spinning around each other.
I call this scorched and baked pine, because what it is it's a layering of 2 types of pine wood. Now, if you look closely, you can see there's a thin, dark pine, and that's actually called carbonized pine, and it's a product from the Alberta Research Council. It's pine beetle wood that's been put in an oven and baked, and it gives it this dark color. And then what I did is I mixed that with some scorched, just plain timbers, 2x4 timbers that have been cut down, laminated them together, and in the sanding process it came up to be this really rustic feel. So I'm working with 2 types of pine that have been heated in some way, I guess. I find the piece is very rustic looking in its nature, but in its shape it's very modern.
Like on all 3 of these lamps, I really like the LEDs showing, and I've left them sort of exposed on the task lamp, and on the floor standing lamp. It's just they're sort of just embedded right into the maple, so it's just really sort of letting them be the feature.
This is the L40 Lounge. It's a project I've been working on for a few years, actually. So it's not representing any particular material. This is basically a form model that can be produced in metal or wood or plastic or whatever the manufacturer would deem appropriate. So that's where this is.